My favorites. I usually ask questions to the little ones. Jonathan, Mark, and Stephen, and possibly Jacob. Where's Jacob? He's going to come. The Coptic month. Can you tell me, the three of you here, can you tell me that? The three of you can say 4 each, can you? Jonathan, do you know any of them? Mark? I'll help you out. Start with Tut. Tut? No one can tell me all of them straight away? Girls? Okay, I'll help you with the second one. Tut, Baba. No one still? Okay, I'll continue on. Kevin? No? There was no Sunday school lesson about the Coptic month? No? Maybe we should research the curriculum then. It says Tut, Baba, Hatur. Yeah, Tuba, and Shir, Baramhat, Bermuda, Bashans. How many are we up to now? 9. Bauna Abib, Nisra. And we are in the months of Nisra. Right? But now I've said 12, right? But they're actually not 12 months, they're actually 13. So we have a 13 month, which is, we call them the little month. Actually, they're a little tricky. You know how every month of our Coptic or our normal year, some months are 30 days, some months are 31. February sometimes comes shorter, sometimes comes longer. In the Coptic calendar, all of our Coptic months are 30 days. All of them, 30 days. We don't do 31 anymore, we don't do 30, we don't do 30, all 30 days. And the leftovers, we have a little month of 7 days. It's called Nasi, which will start probably tomorrow or the day after. Okay? So what I want you to do, the three of you, and Jacob, I don't know where he is, he was here before. Remember the Coptic month. It's so important, it's easy. Okay. The church in the last 2 months of the year have chose to concentrate on the end of the world. In saying that, if I look at the reading of this week, it says, "And now as he sat on the mountain of Olives opposite the temple, Peter, James, and John and Andrew came to him asking him privately." They wanted to know something that not many people like. They want to ask him that private question. I don't know what was bothering them about the end of the world. And when all these things can be fulfilled. Next week, and I'm sure you're all going to come to and listen to the gospel, it's similar reading. And it says here, now he sat on the Mount of Olives. The disciple came to him privately, saying to him, "Tell us when all the things will be." And this was reading from a different gospel. But what I really liked, it was the end of today's gospel. The last word, which Carlos took a long time saying it. Jonathan, do you remember what was that word? Why me? Okay, not you. It says watch. 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 What do I watch for? I don't know. Do you in the school here have one of those sudden exams? Like you rock up to the class and you have an exam. You do have it here. I remember in Egypt growing up, we have the teachers setting up the expectation at the beginning of the year. You would come in and it would be sudden exam. You're in an exam situation. You bring your books and you'll be giving exam papers, and it'll be horrifying because you're not ready. Could be maths, it could be history, it could be anything. Do you have that at all here? Here, I think you do. I thought you have to give your notice, you have to give your rubrics, you have to, all of us, you can be say, "Hey, we're in the exam today." Your science, you do. Well, lucky. That means what? You study pretty much before the science lessons. You pretty much make sure that you go through it, but it's scary, isn't it? That you rock up to the class and you have an exam. I know for People hate those random breath tests that you're driving around and all of a sudden you breathalyze. Of course, we've got nothing to worry about, but it terrifies people who have got, they try to take different routes to go home because they know that there's always a random breath test in that place. Well, Christ spoke privately, and in particular about the concept of watching in 3 different occasions. Once in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he was crying in tears, and he was telling his disciple, watch with me 1 more hour. Watch and be vigilant. The parable of the 10 virgins, Christ, in the parable, he was telling the virgins, they were the wise virgin, they were watchful, they were ready, they had their stuff ready. It's important to be watchful, to be vigilant. What is the opposite of being vigilant? What is the opposite, Mary, of being vigilant? Lazy, complacent. Yeah, lazy. Well, that's okay. Unfortunately, my favorite team got humiliated last week because they played a team that is way lower than them. They lost. They were vigilant. Yes, it is Man United, Daniel. They were pretty much, they know that you're going to win it, but they lost. And it was humiliating. Sometimes we are complacent about saying words that are, start swearing a little bit, and that could lead us to, or have a little white lie, and it becomes a bigger one. We start with not vigilant with our mouth, with our what we say and what we do and what we see, and that can lead us to something bigger. In the Gospel or in the Old Testament, it says, "Be aware of the little foxes that spoiled the vine." That little fox that we watch for, be watchful of those ones, because those could spoil the vine. If you're good at maths, you know that parallel lines are not parallel anymore if they're off by 0.00000001 millimeter. You can go for so many zeros because they will eventually you're gonna meet, even if they're because they were what? Complacent about a smaller amount, they're no longer parallels. So the other thing to be watchful for is to be staying up with Christ. When you're watchful, when you're not sleepy, you make sure that you're staying up. In the Songs of Solomon, it says, "By night on my bed I saw the one I love." How many of us, before we go to bed, and you have the luxury of putting a song that you like without annoying your partner? If you're alone in the room, you're amazing because you get to do that, or gaze at the picture of Christ, then sleep. At least the last thing that you've heard was a song that you loved, or the last person or picture that you saw was Christ's face. So be vigilant and staying up are the 2 things, or the 2 messages that we got from the gospel, or from today's, or the church is trying to tell us today. One thing I would like to end up with, yesterday was the feast of Saint Thekla Himanot, right? And we will have celebration about him today later on. His picture is over there. Can I ask you one thing, or maybe 2? If you don't know, research, and if you know, you research and come to me and tell me. But if you do know, keep it to yourself. Don't tell anyone come and ask you. Why does he have 6 wings? Don't say. If you know, don't. Good, come and tell me then later on. Why does he have 6 wings? If you don't know, research it and come tell me. And if you know, and put your hands up straight away, amazing, come and tell me later on. Also, what is the meaning of Thekla Himanot? What's the meaning of his name? You know it too? No? Okay, well, to research it then. Okay, glory be to God forever.